What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the third day of December, and here we are, my friends, sitting at about 0.003 with 6 hours and 57 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. As I said, we have about 7 hours left in this day. I don't know why that white line was being drawn there. I definitely did not mean to do that. 7 hours left in this day. We are moving up. It's looking nice from a low to a high. We found support right at our 0.5, which is a pretty unconventional area to find support typically in the fibs, but a lot of cryptos have been finding significance at their 0.5 really throughout this whole cycle, so it's okay. Right? If this was a stock, I might be a little bit more skeptical of this bounce, but because it's crypto, I have some conviction that this could have been your low and that you are moving higher. Now, the real conviction comes in once we're above the 236. Once we get a close above this red line here, the 236 up here, at about, what is that there? That's about a 0.0032 price. Once we close a day, don't wick above there, don't get up and then close below. Don't smash all the way up here and then come all the way back down here and close in the same day. No, we need you to close above the 236, and that validates this low. It also validates the idea, it implicates that we will take out this high as well. So we will then have higher lows and higher highs once we get above 0.032. So that's the line in the sand to watch, okay? Until then, it's completely possible that from here, and by the way, we could move up to this level and still go to lower lows, okay? We could move up to this level, so don't get excited just because we move up here. This could be a serious point to reject, as well as it could be our what's the word I'm looking for? Salvation. If you get above 0.032, you are vindicated, you're validated. This is the low, and you are moving higher. If we reject there, you're going to move lower. Let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll look at the 1 hour, and then we'll zoom out from there. Okay, 1 hour time frame here. Looking at this. We look at the 1 hour with the RSI. The RSI honestly looks pretty damn positive. We've got a very, very bullish RSI here. Yes, you do have a little bit of bearish divergence, but you've kind of already seen that move take place. Maybe we come down a little bit. The stochastics kind of suggest that we do. The MACD would allow for it, and the RSI would allow for it too, but I don't think that we see anything too dramatic. Let's imagine that we do come down. We take a low here to a high here. Maybe you find support right there at 0.0303, 0.00297, somewhere around there. I doubt we go below 0.0292, but time will tell. A move down from here does not mean that we move below these lows. Just, maybe we're getting set up or resetting up, and then we're coming back up. What do we look like with volume? Getting some volume, but not a whole lot. I mean, I don't mind this. This actually, with the volume, kind of makes it does make me think that we're going to move higher. I would say that we do move higher, personally. And the stochastics here actually at a better place to buy. The Bybit chart, I think, is telling the truth. The other chart was not. The 4 hour time frame here, if we're looking at this, the RSI has broken out of its downtrend. You're making strides higher, so that's good. You can afford to come down a little bit. So again, if we don't push higher right now and we do continue to consolidate, that's fine. That's okay. It could be another day that we're hanging out in these areas, and then we move higher, maybe 2 days. But soon enough, we should be moving higher. Stochastics look good. The MACD is just now crossing above the 0. I would imagine that cross is accompanied by a move higher. Will it push us above 0.032 or not? That's the question. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I would think that we do. We probably find support at 0.02 or 0.032, and then we probably push higher, something like that. I think we will push higher over the next 24 hours. We should be above. I would think either by the end of today, probably not, but by the end of tomorrow, probably, we will have that day that closes above that 0.032 area, that number that we need to close above to validate this as the low. Right? We get that number again from this low to this high, 0.032 right there at the 236. A daily close above this level validates us. I don't think we'll get it today, but I do think we'll get it tomorrow. Bouncing off the 40, rejected the 60, bounced off the 40. Very common to kind of ping pong between the 60 and the 40 area until you pick a side, one way or the other. Hopefully it's to the upside, and right now the ball is definitely in the bull's court, so I think that we will continue to push higher. Stochastics bouncing off the 50, looking great as well, and the MACD is starting to build bullish momentum again. After the oscillators came very, very close to touching, all of this is implying that we are in the midst of an upwards move. We don't technically have it yet, right? Technically, we're not in an uptrend. We have higher lows, but it's not validated, it's not confirmed, and we don't have higher highs. But the indicators on the daily time frame tell me that we are in the beginning of an uptrend. We are starting a new trend now. That's what I'm seeing in the stochastics. That's what I'm seeing in the MACD. The RSI isn't suggesting that necessarily, but soon enough it will. We're kind of just trending sideways, but soon enough we will have an upwards trend when we get higher highs and higher lows here, when we break above the 60. But these two are definitely implying a lot here. So I'm very confident that we do move higher. I'm very confident at this point that we do not go below this low. The confidence only builds once we close days above 0032. But I'm very confident right now, even without that. We take a high here, put it to the low. This is the high to low of the overall range. Yes, we have a lower low here, but that's like the fake out low. That was a fake out. Look at the reaction we had. It's like quite literally the same reaction that we had back here. It's kind of crazy. 382-236 maneuver. Up to the golden ratio we go. So Zebecians, shout out to the Zebecians out there. Your next target area, and probably I would assume not by the end of this week. It can happen by the end of this week. Zebec moves fast whenever it wants to. But probably, if not by the end of this week, I would think more so probably next week. Before, let's say before the 12th, or maybe on the 12th at the latest. Between now and the next 9 days, we should see Zebec at 0046 or higher. That should be happening. With that, you'll be breaking out of this range. With that, you'll be contesting these highs, or trying to contest these highs, these lower highs here. Whenever you get above this high point here, when you get above 0053, that right now, regardless of all the fibs and regardless of what I'm saying here, I believe in everything that I'm saying. I do believe this is the path that we're on over the next 9 days. I thoroughly believe this. But take everything that I've said away, and really the most important thing to focus on right now is that there are lower highs here, or I guess it's a high, lower high, and then a lower high here. Once we take that out, once we take out that high, you effectively validate that you're breaking out of this, that you are moving higher. This is whenever, at this point here, is when we start to get excited that Zebec is going to see prices pushing on to 3 cents and beyond. Okay, so the most important level that we've talked about at all throughout this video is this level here, is at 0053. Whenever we get above 0053, you're home free. You're breaking out. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. The only thing that we're thinking about at this point is moving up to 3 cents and beyond. At least 2 cents, but 3 cents and beyond. Very likely 3 cents and beyond. So that doesn't happen from here. That's not the projected move. We're not just going to move straight up here. It could. Anything can happen. You know how Zebec goes. But most likely from here, what we do is we probably stop just below this line. We get your hopes up. Might pull back, find support down here, and then we make that attempt. Sometime probably later this month, we'll be breaking out above this level here, this very key level, which would then imply that January, or perhaps the very end of December, is the time frame. Let's say the first half of January or the last 10 days of December, maybe even the last week of December, is the time frame that we're assuming Zebec will break out to new all-time highs. And at that point, I don't care who you are, everybody's on board with that, right? If you're at new all-time highs, everybody's on board with Zebec going higher. The likely targets are as such, right? We take the high to the low here. We've got our fibs. Let me just redraw it so it's a little cleaner. Okay, take the high to the low, not the fake out low. It's very important we don't take the fake out low. It'll give us similar targets, but slightly different. I want to be specific here. The primary target zone is about 0.00969 to 1.4 cents. When we break above the golden ratio here, we're open. We gain access to the secondary zone, which is the 1886 to the 2618, which is anywhere from 4.4 cents to 1.9 cents. I highly doubt that we get tied up here for too long, but I do expect we find some turbulence there and we push higher. I highly doubt that we get tied up here. I think that the ultimate move is going to take us to 3 cents to 4.4 cents. That's where it is. There is a chance that we go higher, but it depends on how we interact with all this stuff below. That would make me think that we go here. If we're very robust, if we're extremely robust, if we don't acknowledge this zone at all and we just push up to the secondary zone, we don't stop here at all, the chances of going here go up. If we consolidate somewhere like around the 2272, the 1886, the chances that we go here go up, okay? If we get this one fell swoop kind of movement. But if we do show some structure here, and we're probably going to stop somewhere in this area as well. And then likely we show some structure there. Inevitably pushing to these levels, but at a further date, maybe on a different move, right? This might be a move in its own, and then the next move will generate higher prices than that. But I don't have anything else to say. It's the same old stuff, really. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We're expecting a good next week out of Zebec, okay? Who cares about the next day? Maybe the next day is great. I think the next week is going to be great. The next week should take us just below these highs here. If I'm right in my assumption, we should be around 0046 or higher. Isn't that the price? High to low. Yes, 00463 or higher within the next 9 days. I say within the next 9 days. My brain automatically thinks in 9 days. It could be 3 days from now. It could be 6 days from now. But within the next 9 days. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.